Play your part in building this channel by subscribing and liking. The Whispering Stacks. One evening, I decided to spend some time in the Old Town Library. The air was musty, and the dim lighting gave the place an eerie ambience. As I browsed the shelves, I noticed a faint whispering sound. At first, I thought it was just my imagination, but the whispers grew louder and more distinct. I followed the sound, leading me deeper into the library's labyrinthine stacks. The voices seemed to be coming from the books themselves, as if the stories trapped within were trying to escape. Heart pounding, I reached out to grab a random book, and as I opened it, the whispers intensified. It was as if the characters were pleading for release from their paper prison. I stumbled back, dropping the book in shock. The whispers turned into eerie laughter, echoing through the aisles. I rushed out of the library, vowing never to return. To this day, I can't shake the feeling that the stories within those books were something far more sinister than mere words on pages. The Haunted Catalog. One rainy afternoon, I was alone in the library, cataloging new acquisitions. The room was quiet except for the pitter-patter of rain on the windows. As I worked, I noticed a catalog that seemed out of place, as if it had been pulled from the archives. Curious, I opened it and found listings for books that didn't match any of our records. As I flipped through the pages, I realized that the books described in the catalog were all dark and disturbing, filled with forbidden knowledge and occult rituals. Each entry seemed to radiate a malevolent energy that sent shivers down my spine. I felt a growing sense of unease, as if I were delving into something beyond my understanding. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew through the room. Even though the windows were closed, the catalog pages began to turn on their own, revealing more and more sinister titles. Terrified, I slammed the catalog shut, only to hear a soft whisper, "You've seen too much." I dropped the catalog and fled the room, vowing never to speak of what I had witnessed. The Cursed Study Room. In search of a quiet place to study, I entered the library late one night. The librarian had warned me about a particular study room that had been closed off due to strange occurrences, but I was desperate for solitude. The room was dimly lit by a flickering overhead light, casting eerie shadows on the walls. As I settled in and opened my books, I began to feel a growing sense of unease. The room's temperature dropped, and an icy breeze ruffled my papers. Ignoring my instincts, I continued to study until I heard a faint whisper behind me. When I turned, I saw the reflection of a figure in the window, a figure that wasn't there when I entered. Panicked, I tried to leave the room, but the door wouldn't budge. The whispers grew louder, surrounding me from all sides. The figure in the window seemed to be reaching out to me. Its features twisted into a horrifying grin. My heart raced as I pounded on the door, begging to be let out. After what felt like an eternity, the door finally swung open, and I stumbled out into the corridor, gasping for air. The librarian found me huddled on the floor, pale and trembling. They told me that the room I had entered was known for its malevolent spirits, and that I was lucky to have escaped relatively unscathed. I've never set foot in that library again, haunted by the memory of that cursed study room.